But I suppose we'll pivot to that now. We have the other game, that was Lyon and Montpellier.
Yes, absolutely.
And Lyon won. The home team nicked it because Montpellier are inept at this point in the season and can't get it done at all.
Yeah,
and
it was a noticeably lower standard,
and I would expect Clermont to beat Lyon.
Yeah,
but expecting Clermont to win things is not necessarily always a reliable thing.
Yeah,
but Lyon,
they're quietly waiting away in the wings, not generating as much media hype. I think they're bulling for the Bouclier.
For the Bouclier this year. Yeah, you're probably right. Right. They could be spoilers.
They're very, very good.
They're
very, very
always
good.
Have been.
Yeah,
they're super dangerous.
And that final performance against La Rochelle is going to give them all kinds of confidence.
Yeah.
But before we get onto them, I guess we should take a look at the game. I thought, Cruden had his moments.
Cruden was game for it. He started that game brilliantly well with his little chasing his own kick, getting the charge down, getting the try, just reward. Mm-hmm. He also gathered one of his own kicks or regathered a loose offload from Lyon later in the first half. He looked sprightly and there for up for it, but it was just again similar criticisms that you could have of the Racing boys. They're never one thing, Montpellier. They never join together. They're always loose. Their forwards are very lazy in the second half a lot of the time. Some of their kind of set pieces are super
the Blue
inaccurate.
Bulls, the Northern Hemisphere Blue Bulls.
Yeah,
a little bit.
A world of and Paul Hard's going to go there now. It's what's going on, but they for such the talent that's on the pitch for things to be going awry as often as they are. It's really crazy, to be honest. For so many seasons, they just can't seem to get it right.
They're not the best coached team, but they're also just they're sort of a band of cobbled together mercenaries,
misfit.
And as you say, it's not a team that's been put together really. It's names on a page and then trying to make something of them.
Yeah. Which just doesn't work. We've known that. Like even with your Galacticus approach, your Toulon. Still takes a bedding in period of a few years to try and gel some kind of team. Once you buy your superstars, they then need to become a team. And with Montpellier, it feels like they're never given time enough to settle. Like earlier on in the year, it was all the Nadolo show. Or
they've had injuries
last year.
They've had Cruden and Nadolo have had injuries.
And then their backline had a very distinctly South African look and feel throughout.
It's been the death of Serpentine's career though as well. And this is the sad thing, that Montpellier seems to kill players' careers. This is the death of Serpentine, the death of getting Gusa on one wing, and obviously Nadolo is still having a great time there, but it's just he's sort of less relevant in the world sphere because he's playing for this losing team and not seeing as much of the ball as he should in this case. But you got to give credit to Lyon. They know how to win a game.
They do.
Handy little kicker, Wisniewski. They controlled things nicely, took their chances when they had to.
They looked the more disciplined team. They're not the more talented team, but
bagged some tries. I mean,
going back to your blue, if Montpellier are the Blue Bulls, then Lyon are the Sharks in this little comparative, where they're probably player for player slightly the worse, but they're a bit better drilled. They have a little bit more heart, certainly at home, they're kind of
a little more smarts. They're focused on winning the game, and sometimes all it takes is a little Charlie Nyatai try to get you over the line.
This is it. Just fire him over there, and he did well. He took it well. To be fair,
he's class. Yeah, if he can get fit again, that's a weapon for them
for sure.
Proper, fully fit, season long. All of a sudden, I don't always get injured. Charlie Nyatai, the man we've always dreamed of.
Yes, I know. It'll be a lovely thing. Yeah, it will be a lovely thing. But in the meantime, they still have some danger. They have the Armitage in the backfield, their man Dylan, earlier in the season they were combining Dusan and Buxis in one of the worst ill-advised halfback pairings. But they seem to have moved on from that. Wisniewski's in there, so like cup finals mode, it's still up for grabs. I have a feeling though travelling. I think both of the semis are now happening in Bordeaux.
Both of them? I know the Clermont one is.
Yeah, I think they're both in the same stadium, Matmut Atlantique.
I didn't know that.
Saturday and Sunday. So going to be huge travelling support.
Are they just not allowed to play their home semi-final at home?
I'm not sure if that's the case.
Because I thought it was a crack with the stadium. I know Clermont Stadium is a little small.
Too small.
Yeah, Marcel Michelin, but
I looked it up before, and they're both at Matmut Atlantique.
Okay.
In Bordeaux.
Nice town.
Yeah, lovely town. It'll be a festival of
Clermont
rugby.
have sad memories.
Oh, they do,
in the semi-finals.
Yes, they do. But this is another semi actually. Yeah. Well, there's precedent for Clermont blowing things like this against teams potentially.
They
like
didn't
Lyon.
blow that game though.
No,
they didn't. I know Fofana had his knock on, but they were just
no. Well, I do have the feeling that Clermont are a stronger outfit than this Lyon side, despite the fact that Lyon were creditable in getting the job done against Montpellier. But I've always thought Montpellier are flatterers to deceive, and when you're in the same group as them at the very beginning of a season, you're reading their new team sheet thinking, whoa, what a dangerous side, and then you inevitably watch them and think, oh, they're dismal. And that's been my relationship with this Montpellier team for the last few years, and it has not been set to change, and this year was no different. And even that scrambling, failing line-out play to actually end that game was symptomatic of all that they got wrong. It's just like a painfully poor execution of what is a basic skill in the 80th minute, and there your season's over. Think on that. Or some of you, others will be axed, some will be brought in. It'll be a new-ish look next year, but I don't know if the results will be different. They still haven't won a Bouclier. They've never won one.
And the standard is, even in France now, is getting the standard of professionalism is getting too high to get away with.
You can't just have a retirement home for a load of
even Toulon it's being showed up. Like, there has to be
Toulon's poor season was encouraging for all things rugby, this league included, and
but there has to be a real drive. You have to have a real focus. You have to build a real team with real coaches, get an identity, figure out how you're going to play the game, and have everyone galvanised around it. And while the Montpellier players say the right things and are trying their hearts out, like, there's an element of just not the same kind of focus and desire that you see from other top teams. And that's the point, is that you're just like, you want to be competing at this level. They got to change a lot. It doesn't look like that's going to change in the short term.
No, it doesn't. It looks like they're set to kind of continue as they are, which is still ultimately a top couture side that have been there in it for years and don't look set to change. Like, they're certainly not the bottom of the table. They're nowhere near as abysmal as the likes of Perpignan. But you're right, they're spending a lot of money, and they're not getting results, and they're not looking like it, because, as you say, they're doing too many things wrong. They're not letting any team settle, and they just don't look like, a lot of times in crunch moments, it looks like people are quizzically looking around and like, what do we do? We don't actually know what we're meant to be doing in this situation, or what our plan is, or what our identity of how we should be expressing ourselves on the pitch is at all. Despite being bailed out a few times by giving it to Namani, there's not much more to it this season. And they're probably finished rightly.
We have a great last four. Plucky and pretty tasty Lyon in and then three magnificent as we say, members of the French Renaissance, as probably, La Rochelle, I know, didn't finish up there, but you could argue, with the Challenge Cup run and everything else, possibly one of the best, possibly worthy of being considered third in the overall.
It's a bit skewed when they have to compete on multiple
fronts.
I think
if it ends up a Toulouse Clermont final, had there been a third and fourth playoff, I probably would have backed La Rochelle.
Sure.
So you have those three really setting the tone for where the top couture is at, and
changing the tone from where it was, where it was a bludgeoning, physical, slow affair.
So sides like Montpellier and Toulon, who we get frustrated with, are being taught this lesson, and I think it's a very good and very positive picture.
For sure.
The top couture has been magnificent this year, the best season in years, and I'm really looking forward to its conclusion.
And hopefully all of this could bode well for France come World Cup time as well, if they can sprinkle a little bit of that
if they can put it together
onto their squad.
I wonder about the brains behind the operation, but that's a different conversation.
Still always that potential, but it's shaping up really nicely, and it means that those fixtures, there's one on Saturday, which is the first one is the Toulouse game on Saturday, and then the second one, the Clermont-Lyon game on Sunday afternoon. Both well worth a watch. Thank you very much for watching that video. If it's your first time here, please leave a like and subscribe down below, and leave a comment as well if you enjoyed it, because we enjoyed the conversation.